Alright guys, so today, just what I do for you. I started more projects that I did not record. Um, but I did record a video last week, I just didn't upload it. I decided I'd record a little bit while I'm cleaning the bench. And just do a little vlog style thing here. This little guy. Last night I was trying to flatten the sharpening stone. So you can see there's still a little bit of a pit there. It's a little deep. The core stone is still a little uneven, but it's a lot better than what it was before. So I was working on that in the wee hours of the morning. Yesterday I had to replace the felt washer on the drum on the dryer, because my dryer was eating up clothes and like putting these big old burn stains in the clothes, and it just didn't look good, you know what I mean? So that's what we did yesterday. Was I went and fixed my dryer, so like I said, it wasn't tearing up my clothes anymore. And now I'm going to clean off my table, and we can talk about something I have no knowledge at all about, which is most things. I just figured out as I go, like fixing the dryer. I just did it. Wasn't hard to figure out. I bet figuring out how many panels I needed to take off the front was kind of crazy, but putting it back together was the same shit. It was only like 6 or 8 screws. Use a drill, it's a pretty quick job, aside from letting the glue dry and settle. But yeah, so that was easy. Sorry for such a disorganized video. All right, now you have my full attention. I am good. Table is clean enough. I'm here to talk to you guys. All right, so some simple projects we started was, you see here, I cut out a piece of MDF, notched it out, and so that way I could hold my drill. We cut a little piece of leather and nailed it to the edge here to hold my measuring tape. Of course, my shitty vise. That'll be updated sometime in the future. But, sorry. But yeah, no, that makes life so much easier, having the drill accessible right here. I know It's a Black & Decker drill. You guys can make fun of that all you want. And most of my tools are, like, most of my power tools while I'm going to be doing projects with you guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to be all up in your face. Is going to be Ryobi tools. So again, you know, just make fun of as much as you want. But I do have ideas for, like I said in the last couple of videos, I do have projects lined up in the near future for some videos. Organization is key. It's key to everything. Knowing where everything is, knowing where they are, where if they have a home or not. That's a big, well, at least for me, that's a big thing. I like everything having a home and putting everything in its place. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. Again, this is not a subject I know a lot about. And this is also kind of a funny subject. But today, because I brought it in, I wanted to talk about my car tool kit. And this is growing. This is nowhere near what I need, or the actual tools I probably need from, like, the little car stuff I've done. But we'll show you what we got. So I have 3 pouches in the big pouch. This is a Hyper Tough bag. It was like $6 at Walmart. But I just bought it because I needed it. Most of the tools in here are Hyper Tough. And the only reason I did that is because I'm not looking for lifetime major tools. These are in an emergency if I need tools. And if someone breaks into my car, I'm not, out a couple $100, $1,000, whatever. I just, again, these are just what I feel like need on the road. So we have a screwdriver. We got another multi-screwdriver. These came from 2 different sets. We got electrical tape. We got not a wrench. We got a ratcheting wrench. This really stupid wrench. An extended arm with a magnet. This is the best thing in the world. I love this thing. Like, I don't only use this for cars, but anytime I'm working on anything, I love that thing. Again, this came with the kit, but wire strippers. We got a multi-size wrench. We got the needle nose pliers and a crescent wrench. So that's it for this little tool bag. So this pouch is basically for the hand tools. And I just bought these not too long ago. I needed little pouches to organize this big pouch because this didn't come with any kind of organization. Everything was kind of dumped in there. But obviously you need a funnel for your vehicle liquids. I decided not to go with the flare, so this has a work light and emergency strobes. Uh, for when you're on the side of the road, and it's rubberized so you can beat it up. So when I bought this, again, because I also keep gas in the car, so I thought this would be nice. But I like the idea of this rather than a road flare. But I might be getting road flares too for my emergency vehicle kit. But obviously you need tons of zip ties. Zip ties fix everything. It's like duct tape. It's great. We have a very anemic wrench set that again, I don't know if any of these sizes will be useful, but it came in my cheap mechanics kit. I do want to get some bigger sizes. I know this isn't going to be at all what I need at all, but aside from that, so aside from the wrenches, we also have my sockets, deep sockets, and then we have the different drivers. So we have SAE and metric Allen keys, hex wrenches, whatever you want to call them. I also have a little bit of paracord and a visibility vest. But yeah, so that's my mobile toolkit that I keep in the car. Again, it's anemic, but I know a lot of the wrench sizes were really small. I think it only goes up to half or 3/8 inch with the wrenches. But the bigger sizes I can get with the sockets and the deep sockets. With the sockets, I also have a spark plug socket in there too. That's specifically for pulling out your spark plugs. Because in the Ford Focus, the spark plugs sit about 4 inches in this well that sits in the engine. So usually you'd have to do a deep well socket and then use the extendable magnet to pull them out. But this one I like, and I learned about it on another YouTube channel which I forgot about, but it made life so much easier. So this sits on a movable joint, so you don't actually break the spark plug, and it just connects to your regular ratchet. I think what is it, 3/8? And this also has a built-in magnet in there too, so like not only does it loosen or tighten the spark plug, but once you're finished with it, it actually pulls out the spark plug, which is sweet. And like I said, like you're not going to be flexing the spark plug with this thing while you're wrenching it, because it's on this movable joint, so you don't have to worry about like snapping your actual spark plug. So that made that job 10 times easier. But again, I haven't dealt a lot with vehicle emergencies because like I haven't driven like new, but I've driven like relatively new vehicles most of my life, like late 90s on. And so like all the vehicles I've ever driven have only needed like light maintenance. but at the same time, I was talking with a coworker, and then we were talking about the tool sets we keep in our cars. He's definitely a car guy. Like he builds his own cars, he rebuilds engines, he builds his own engines, and I can see why he needs a tool set because as like an amateur mechanic, he is definitely a car guy and he knows what can and would go wrong. But his vehicle is fairly new too. Like he has a rebuilt brand new engine in his vehicle. Uh, I drive a 2012 Ford Focus SE that's only got like 57,000 miles, so it's relatively brand new. Um, and so I was joking with him, and I was just like, dude, we had really like relatively brand new vehicles. I was just like, why are we loading them up with tools like we're driving like 92 shake kickers that are about to ship bricks? And he goes, dude, because we live in Alaska and you never know what can happen. He said, like, I almost like ripped off my front bumper just pulling out of my driveway. And that's kind of true. I've heard so many. It hasn't happened to me personally, but I've heard so many stories of, like people breaking down on the highway. That's like a 3-4 mile drive outside of town, and then it's a 3-4 hour drive to the next town. And you know what? What do you do in that situation? Uh, for me, I could probably diagnose, maybe fix the situation myself and get myself out of that situation. Or I also keep enough survival gear in the vehicle also uh, that if I had to camp out in that situation, I definitely could. Um, so I guess this video about with talking about the tools has turned into kind of a prepping video. And I believe any situation you're in, you should be ready for most things. Like, I'm not saying catastrophic end of the world situations. I'm just saying you should be ready for, like, especially if you own a vehicle, you should be ready for minor breakdowns. You should be ready for a couple hour walk home if you have to. If you live in kind of a rural state like I do, you should have gear in your vehicle to handle that situation. Because like I said, like if you get stranded and you're a couple of hours in both directions from anyone, it and there's no guarantee that someone else can be on the road. But people are always on the road. We live in a tourist state, so people are always out. But at the same time, you never know. You never know that situation. So it's always nice to have the stuff you need. Even if help is a couple hours away, it's nice to have food and water. You know what I mean? If it's cold out like winter right now, and especially if you're going north, it can get to, 15, 20 below. And in that situation, it's nice to have hand warmers. It's nice to have blankets, emergency blankets. It's nice to have sleeping bags. If it's in the summer or fall time, I keep a tarp and rope for a makeshift tent. And then I also keep a fully stocked first aid kit. And that's mainly for if you get stuck in a really bad accident. I have stuff for blood trauma, and a lot of this stuff I'm not too familiar with, but hopefully in that situation it could be also be quick access for people who are properly trained to use some of the stuff I carry. And because and that's the most beefed up, aside from my home first aid. My biggest beefed up first aid I have is my vehicle first aid, because I think if you're going to be in a catastrophic bad situation, it's probably going to happen in your car, most likely. Um, the statistics of being in a car accident. So the first aid is also a very big part of being preparedness in my vehicle. Um, because I again, sorry, I don't want to tell you how to live, and I'm just giving you ideas. I'm just giving you something to think about. Um, but I live in a state where you kind of have to be prepared. You kind of have to be ready for situations. Um, I live in this city, which is nice. It's a small city. Like, I don't know what the population is here, but what I can tell you is I can walk from end to end in a day. Like the whole city. Like I can start at one part of the city, walk to the other, and do that in literally a day, maybe half a day, or probably a day, like 8, 9 hours maybe. But yeah, I can walk the whole town in a day, and so. But it's a city. I have stores, I have shopping malls, there's gas stations, so. And because I've been in situations where I've had to like walk an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours home, and I still carry a backpack with supplies, but it's a little easier to be a little less prepared in the city because if you're living in a functional working city, like I said, there's gas stations, there's stores, there's Walgreens, there's malls. You can stop anywhere, get a soda or a water. You know what I mean? I still carry those things, but like I said, but it's also easy to get complacent. And I've had a couple instances in my life that kind of led me to prepping. And one of them was again about like 7, 8 years ago. We had a really big windstorm that knocked out power in certain parts of town for like a week, couple weeks, like almost half a month. Um, and luckily, the side of town I was living in at the time, our power only went out for like half a day, and it was at night. So, but in that instance, while I was sitting at home in the dark with candlelight, I was thinking if this was a major event, and if this happened in winter, I don't have a heating source. I don't have food for extended amount of time. I don't have water, which water is a funny situation, but I'll talk about that later. I don't have water. I don't have first aid, and if I had to bunker down in my house from a major accident, I noticed I was in a really bad situation just from that one instance of just sitting a couple hours in the dark without power. And then, so that kind of started this journey of being prepared, which turned into subsets of being prepared. Like I said, there's the vehicle preparedness, the home preparedness, and then there was another event that tested my preparedness. 3 years ago, 2018, Alaska had a 7.0 earthquake with like a 6.5 aftershock almost immediately. And luckily, the it wasn't devastating. Like there was no deaths, no structure damage, no buildings collapsed, and we got out pretty unscathed. But the day of was nice, cause I mean it wasn't nice, but for me, I don't want to say it was easy, but I wasn't scared. Like I was physically scared. Like a massive earthquake is kind of jarring, but pun not intended. But yeah, but after or during that, like immediately after the earthquake, I realized I had a full tank of gas because I don't let the vehicle drop it below a half tank. I keep fuel in the vehicle. I keep tools in the vehicle, obviously. I keep, like I said, a little bit of emergency gear in the car. And then at home, same thing. Like, it, I had enough food that if it was going to be in an extended event, it would be fine. I had enough gear to where if we had to move and the structure of our home wasn't to living standards, that we could grab a couple bags and go somewhere else. And from those two situations, I guess I just want to talk about preparedness, and that we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's out there, and that we should be always be ready for some kind of event, whether it's natural or otherwise, because from those two natural events that I went through really opened my mind to how susceptible we are to our surroundings. But yeah, I guess this is a longer video than I usually do. But at first I just really wanted to talk about my tools, and then ask you guys what I need, what I don't need, and what you think about the vehicle kit, because I don't really know a poop ton about vehicles, but I know enough to get by. I like I said, I've done minor maintenance, but yeah, tell me if I need to extend my wrench set. Tell me if I need to extend my socket set. I am getting another organization pouch for the sockets eventually, but yeah. So let me know. Let me know what you think. Is it crap? Should I upgrade the tools? Should I buy better tools? I really want ratcheting wrenches. That's what I really want. Like, the box wrenches are nice, but ratcheting wrenches I feel like would just make life a poop ton easier. And just make life nice if I had to work on my vehicle. But yeah. And then, like I said, I really don't want to get into it, but if you guys want an updated EDC, I'll post one. But it's going to be boring because it's basically the same stuff I posted in the last EDC from last year. Like, I got it pretty dialed and it doesn't change. Like I said, and then I got more projects I'm going to actually film, and we'll get that going. Maybe eventually we'll talk about more preparedness too, and more prepping. If you guys want to get into that, if you're interested in that, and if you want to know about that, and if you like the stories of my preparedness journey, we can keep going on that too. But yeah, so I just wanted to check in, make a quick video, talk about what's going on. I had to bring in the tool set to organize it, so I thought while I had it, I would show you guys what's going on there. The preparedness thing was unscripted, unthought of. It just naturally rolled into that. But yeah. So wherever you are on this planet, have a good day, good evening, good night. Whatever time of day you're watching this video. Be safe, be happy, and love everyone. All right. Talk to you guys later.